If you've ever felt the sting of setting New Year's resolutions that seem to vanish by February, then this episode is perfect for you. And since we're airing the day before New Year's, we've got just enough time to craft the perfect plan. We're going to talk about why resolutions don't work. We're going to come up with 5 ways for you to crush your goals in 2025. That way you can embrace the new year with the confidence and clarity you deserve. So come back and join me for episode 68, where we'll talk about it all right here on the Career Woman's Secret Playbook podcast.
Are you a strong, independent woman who's passionate about her career? Then this podcast is perfect for you. Based on her book, The Career Woman's Secret Playbook, career coach Dr. Dawn Hamby shares the kind of insider secrets you can only know if you've hired, fired, and promoted employees over the past 30 years.
Ladies, I'm on a mission to help busy women just like you create a career and life you love without sacrificing your work-life balance to get it. Come join me as we inspire and motivate each other only as women can, and have lots of fun along the way.
With Dr. Dawn's tools, strategies, and action steps, you can unleash your personal and professional power in a whole new way. Here's today's episode.
Welcome back, listeners. I'm your host, Dr. Dawn, and if you're like most of us, you have the best of intentions for the new year. But then within a month or so, it seems like all your motivation starts to dwindle and your hopes and dreams either fizzle out or get thrown out the window. So in today's episode, not only are we going to cover tons of information so this doesn't happen to you, but I'm also going to make sure I give you a sneak peek about some upcoming events that are definitely going to help you thrive in 2025. Number 1, on January 6th, we're beginning our New Year to a New You 5-day challenge. This is something, you guys, I absolutely love putting together for our audience. We have done this many years now, and each and every day what we do is we get together for a live stream. You get access to 5 challenges that we're going to work on together along with anyone else who's joining us for the challenge. We will check in with each other each and every day. I'll actually create a separate video for you all about this in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that. But you guys just head over to our website at drdawnshoptalk.com to not only find out more about this challenge, but you can also check out our previous challenges. So like I said, we've done this each and every year for several years now. And even though you may be watching this in 2024 or maybe even in 2025, you can do these challenges at any time. So I'm going to include the playlist that shows you all of our previous videos and our live streams with our audience. So be sure to check that out. You'll find the link in the show notes if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, or if you're watching us on YouTube. Remember, we release the YouTube version usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you're watching us on YouTube, just head over to that description box. Just click on more to find out more. All right, number 2, also on January 6th, is going to be our latest episode in our monthly motivation series. This is where I interview amazing, incredible women who are making a real difference out there in their communities. And I also believe that they epitomize women helping other women. So you guys, I am so excited to announce that I have probably the biggest star, the biggest guest that's ever graced our podcast platform and our YouTube channel. I am talking about the lovely, beautiful Dominique Saxa. For those of you who know Dominique, and many of you do, you guys, she has 5 million followers if you look at all of her platforms combined. So she's just a wonderful influence and puts out amazing content to help women, specifically women in midlife. But she's so much more than that. She is truly an inspiring story about how to face change with grace and faith, how to never give up on love. Yes, you're going to hear all about her love story to her husband, who she met again after 30 plus years. Oh my goodness, you're going to just love her as much as I do if you're not already following her. So that interview is coming up also on January 6th. Now, last but not least, I want to let you know about our latest workshop. You guys, this is definitely the perfect way to make sure that you are setting the perfect tone for the upcoming year. Our workshop will be January 9th. You can join us in person if you're in the Little Rock area or virtually. The workshop is called Stress Less, Achieve More Without Sacrificing Work-Life Balance. Now, you guys know, if you've been following us for a while, I am passionate in making sure women are achieving as much as they can, for sure. But I don't want you spreading yourself too thin. So we talk all the time about how to make the best use of your time, but to also make sure you're creating that perfect workday that's balanced with as much self-care as we can squeeze in. So join us again, either virtually or in person, for that exciting workshop. You're going to love it. I'll include the link to that again in the description box and in the show notes. All right, ladies, with all those exciting announcements out of the way, let's get into it. First, remember when I said that it does seem like within a month or so, all of our resolutions go right out the window? If you're feeling that, let me tell you, you are not alone. For example, did you know that according to the research, 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by the third week in February? So again, you guys, since we're starting most of the time on January 1st, third week of February, yeah, you're not alone if everything's just starting to peter out. So let's talk about the why, because if we know the why, we can fix this, ladies. All right, here's three key reasons why it does seem that we're all in the same boat when it comes to having these great intentions and then nothing seems to change. Number one, we're setting vague or unrealistic goals. Let's start with the vague. What I mean by that is you're just not specific enough. You're not really picturing every little thing that makes that goal exciting. So go back to the drawing board and really think about what is so fabulous about this goal. But it really is human nature to stick with what works. And sometimes what's working for us is not always good for us. So, for example, if it just seems a lot cozier and a lot more fun to stay snuggled up on that couch with your puppies than to go hit the gym or turn off the next episode that's automatically, they know what they're doing. It's automatically loading up right before you can exit out. If that seems like a lot more fun than you tackling that next project or writing that next chapter in your book, you say you've always wanted to be an author and it just keeps getting pushed back to the back burner, right? Those kinds of things. So if your goal just isn't exciting enough, then you're, I don't know, just more likely to just stay with the status quo. And usually you're going to see that your whole schedule, your whole day, if you're sitting here scratching your head trying to figure out where did all the time go, usually we're participating in activities that are really sucking up our time in lots of ways that we're unaware of. So again, if you like a good Netflix binge like my husband and I do, that's great. But again, you need to account for that, because that one episode that's maybe an hour in length, and if there's no commercial breaks, it really is an hour, then becomes two or three. Then you're wondering, how is it 11 o'clock at night? I didn't get anything done I said I was going to do this evening. Now, are there times when you should just veg out on that couch, snuggled up with your children or your puppies or your husband or your partner? Absolutely. But if it's always the case, right? If it's not the exception to the rule anymore, and you're not feeling fulfilled with how you're spending your time and your day, then that's when we need to take a look at. These are the things that I coach my clients about all the time. So again, you're not alone. All right, let's look at number two. What is the second reason why your resolutions just aren't working? Well, quite frankly, you're overwhelming yourself. You want to go from 0 to 100. You see this all the time. Let's take fitness as an example, because I think you can visualize this one pretty well. You say you want to get healthier, okay? Now, that's a very vague goal, right? So it's not very exciting. Now, you need to think about what excites you. Like for me personally, I want to know that I'm achieving a goal. I love that. So if I've noticed that a couple of those holiday pounds have packed themselves back on, or maybe I've been through a very stressful season. You guys know we lost my mom this year. So I wish I could be like those women that get very upset and they just stop eating. Oh no, that's not me, people. I'm a stress eater. So when I face a loss and am missing my mom or am just struggling with guilt, like I'm still here, she's not, even though she's lived a wonderful, very long life. I don't know if you're ever really ready to lose your mom, right? Those kinds of things. So when I'm facing stress, I tend to just be a stress eater. That's just what I'm going to do. Well, if I want to tackle health and wellness, and I am actually going to be addressing that in the workshop because I'm rebooting my own health and wellness journey, I'll actually have a specific video about my intermittent fasting and long term fasting journey and how that really did take a hit with losing my mom this year and sort of the survivor's guilt you tend to feel. I think, especially when you're the oldest in the family, I think it can hit you particularly hard. Not to take away from anyone else's pain in my family or in other families, but I think that was definitely something that hit me hard. Just from that dynamic alone. But I'm going to do a specific video that you guys, I think, might enjoy about rebooting my own health. And then you can take that journey with me and see the tools that I use when I need to get a little healthier. Well, when I'm thinking about getting healthier, I really visualize myself, and we'll talk about visualization in a minute, but I visualize myself in my favorite outfit. And I'm not just talking about just any outfit. I have like this beautiful pair of faux leather pants. I have a pair in chocolate, and I had just ordered this pair in like this lighter tan, kind of rich brown color. And it had just started to fit me when everything changed. So when I picture myself and talk about getting healthier, I'm going to talk about like I'm going to picture myself zipping up those leather pants. I'm going to picture myself out on a fabulous evening with friends or on a date night. So I want to have a very specific goal in mind. And when I think about the sound of zipping those pants up, and I picture myself in some fabulous restaurant, and I'm proud that I can whip out those tools whenever I need to use them, then that gets me excited. And I'm less likely to click yes to the next episode that's loading up on our, Apple TV, let's say. And instead, I'll go ahead and stick with my intermittent fasting. I'll reach for a cup of hot tea after 8 o'clock instead of some late night snack. I'll be more likely to do the weightlifting instead of just the walking, which I tend to do. I'm a cardio girl. You guys know I'm 58, right? I tell you all the time. So I grew up in the age of just aerobics, not much about weightlifting. And so my daughter, who's 25, has really inspired me. She has her own business on the side and knows a lot about weightlifting. So I'm coming late to weightlifting. I understand how important it is, especially for those of us in midlife, and the results you can see in terms of toning up and feeling stronger. And you know what, guys? I want to feel stronger. I want to feel more powerful. I don't want to just feel powerful in my career. I want to feel great from the inside out. And when you feel fabulous and fantastic, when you step into that favorite pair of jeans or pants or skirt or outfit, whatever it is, your favorite dress, your skinny jeans, as they say, and you feel terrific because you accomplished that for your own health and wellness, you know what? It gives you that extra pep in your step. And so make those goals, those resolutions really specific. Even if it's something like each and every day, I'm going to reach 10,000 steps on my step goal. Whatever the case may be, just be as specific as possible, and you guys are going to get that much closer to making your resolutions work this year. Last but not least, the third reason why your resolutions may not be working is you have not built a clear support system. You don't have a way, in other words, to reach out to either a friend or a mentor or use some sort of tool in your toolbox to get yourself back on track. You've got to have it, ladies. We're terrible about asking for help sometimes. And we're terrible also about recognizing that perfectionism is its own disease. That disease to please, that's another popular one, right? So we don't want to get stuck in those unhealthy habits. Now, I give a lot of detail about how to get yourself out of those patterns in my book, The Career Woman's Secret Playbook, but I also have a lot of other free resources on the website. So again, always go to drdonshoptalk.com to check out our free downloadables. We even have a tab called Career Secrets, and that's where you can find all of our podcast episodes, all of our blog posts, and also all of our YouTube videos. So ladies, don't hesitate, whether it's help from us if you want one-on-one coaching, or if you just need those free resources, they are there for you. Okay, ladies, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to have a completely different mindset about resolutions. We're going to stop thinking of it as some sort of fancy schmancy resolution, right? We're not going to think of it that way. We're going to think about it as the goals you're going to use to create your dreams instead. I want you to feel, as we tackle that theme I talked about, right? Thriving in 2025. I want you to realize that the time has come for your dreams to really come true. Now, if you're like my wonderful podcast guest I was talking about, who re-met her husband after 30 years, and so she's living her romantic dream has come true by taking those brave steps to reconnect with someone. Well, it doesn't always have to be a dream of love. However, I do find that in midlife, women are more confident, especially when you compare themselves, like if you look back to yourself in your 20s and 30s and 40s, and if you're in that age range and you're listening to us, ladies, please don't worry about getting older. In fact, I'm going to do a separate video about what I wish my 58-year-old self could say to my 28-year-old self. The lessons I've learned, the confidence I have now. That's what's ironic. Yeah, you get more wrinkles at 58 and it's harder to lose weight and do all these kinds of things. I can barely bend with my right knee. Okay, so we have the aches and pains. And you would think with all of that we would not be as confident, but we are. You get more comfortable in your own skin, ladies, if you do it right. And that's why I'm passionate about putting out this free content to you each and every week that I can. Now, I do try to take a break every now and then, but I didn't even take a Christmas break, I don't think, because with the new year coming and the monthly motivation interviews I want to put there for you, I just didn't feel like I could. Well, I could, but you know what? I was excited not to. That's definitely when you know you're on the right track in your career and in your life. When you're so passionate about it, it doesn't seem like work at all. As they say, if you love what you do, right, it's not work at all. It's overused maybe a little bit, but probably because, by gosh, it's true. It really is. So I wanted to make sure you had this New Year's Eve episode to look forward to, as well as all those exciting events we've got coming up next week for you. So, since we're going to focus on goals and systems, here's an example of what I want you to do. Again, instead of making a list of resolutions, right? I want you to check out some other videos we have about that, by the way. If I didn't mention, I did 2 incredible interviews with my daughter about New Year's resolutions and also about raising strong, independent daughters. Even if you don't have a daughter, if you're a woman listening to this podcast, I want you to feel like you are the strong, independent, beautiful person that you are, that I know you are, because our audience is filled with women like that. Because guess what? You're not going to be listening to topics like this unless you really care about being invested in yourself and your success. So listen to those episodes. We do have one actually about New Year's resolutions. And on that episode, I've interviewed my daughter while she was stationed in Japan. I'm so happy that she's back stateside now. But back then, she was in Japan and we did a live interview about how I raised her to love setting resolutions for the upcoming year. We made a big deal about it, you guys. We really did. We put it on big posters. We had one in her room, one in my room. But again, we created it in a way where we really were creating that pathway to success and dream setting instead of just goal setting. So check out those videos. I'll be sure again to include those links for you. And another tip is when you're thinking about these goals and systems that I want you to put in place, think about, again, being specific, going back to that previous strategy as to why sometimes resolutions don't work. So if you're more specific about it, it's just more clear on how it aligns with this bigger vision you've got for yourself. So, for example, maybe saving money is something you're like, by gosh, this year I'm doing it. I am sick to death of having the same resolution each and every year. Money and weight loss are actually the top two resolutions that people seem to always have each and every year and don't achieve it. So I want you to achieve that this year. And money's an important one, isn't it? It really is. So let's say you're sick to death, like I mentioned, about the fact that you never seem to save it. You have all these great intentions. You start off doing so, but then it just doesn't seem to go anywhere. Or the minute you start saving, well, guess what happens? That's when the car goes out. That's when you have a flat tire. That's when all of a sudden the HVAC in your home has to be repaired. Well, guess what? There are amazing stories. You can hear them from other successful entrepreneurs. Millionaires and billionaires will tell you it's almost like Murphy's Law. The second you start changing your life, it seems like the universe automatically kind of puts some blocks in your way, some obstacles. It's really fascinating. There are so many amazing examples of the fact that this tends to happen. And the most inspiring stories, right? The ones that we want to watch on TV, the movies that we will go see that are based on a true story, they're the ones where people have faced incredible odds and they somehow get through it. They have enough faith in themselves or in the world around them or the people around them to push through. And that, my friends, is what I want for you. So don't get discouraged. If the universe starts putting some blocks up, guess what? It's just you stepping out of your comfort zone. And good, bad, or ugly, your comfort zone wants to stay just that. So it's almost like the universe is trying to protect you in some way. And the minute you take that first step, it's like, oh, we're not sure about this. We don't know. We don't know if this is good for Dawn or bad for Dawn. So let's not rock the boat. Let's just keep the status quo and let's not do anything else about it. Well, you know what, guys? If this is a dream of yours and this is something you know is good for you, saving money is good for you. Being stingy with your money, maybe never contributing to a charity or being stingy with your loved ones. Okay, maybe that's not so great, but if your goal is to save money, who can say that's not? Right? It is something that all financial experts would agree is good for you and good for your future. So if you want to save money, take action immediately. Instead of just telling yourself, I'm going to save money this year, by gosh. Instead, let's put that system in place. So an easy example of that is to have $50 taken out of your paycheck each and every time. So if you work for a company where you've got an HR department that can do that right away. If you don't and you work for yourself or you work for a company where that's not a possibility for them to do it for you, then you set it up on your end to have that money automatically drafted. If you physically have to do it yourself, then do that for yourself. The minute that you get paid, you go ahead and take that $50 out and put it in that account. Hopefully an account that maybe is yielding a little interest there for you, but do your research. Find a system that works for you and don't touch it. Okay, don't. In fact, we do the same thing, my husband and I, with coins, loose change. We will gather up all the loose change, and then usually every 3 or 4 months, we've got enough to take it to the bank, and we will use that as our fun money. Do we ever use other fun money to go out? Well, sure we do. But if we know we need to save, then we're going to make a plan to do so, and we're not going to miss those coins. So that's a fun way for us to go out and celebrate that we've achieved our goals. So, again, make it fun for yourself and watch out. Your dreams are definitely going to come true if you put all of that in place. Now, to make sure that you can achieve your New Year's resolutions this year and make those dreams come true, let me share 5 of my favorite ways that you can crush your goals. So, again, you're closer to making sure you can thrive in 2025. Tip number 1, I don't want you to just be specific. I want you to make sure those goals are measurable. So you've heard about that before, right? Goals have to be measurable. But when it comes to New Year's resolutions, what we know works in our work life, we don't always apply that to our personal life. So ladies, we're going to change that in 2025. You and your professional and personal goals are just as important. Okay? All right. So here's what I want you to do. Going back to fitness as an example, replace that you want to get in better shape with I am committed to exercising 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes. Or going back to that step goal, this year I'm going to make sure I achieve 10,000 steps each and every day, and I'm going to save my money to buy a fitness tracker to help me do just that. Just remember, whatever your specific and measurable goal is, when you're clear on your goals, it will fuel your progress. It's like that extra gasoline in your tank to move forward. Tip number 2, I want you to focus on your habit, not the outcome. So, for example, I'm going back to my intermittent fasting because I did take a break. There was just so much I could handle during my family's really stressful time this year. Now, we've had some wonderful family time as a result. Sometimes when you have a loss, it brings your family even closer together. So I'm not going to say that 2024 was a horrible year, but we definitely had several losses, not just my mom, but just a couple of weeks ago, we lost our beautiful family pet in this tragic accident the day before Thanksgiving when everybody was traveling to come to my house because I was hosting it this year. And if you've lost a pet really suddenly, if you're a dog person like we are, our dogs are our family as well. They're family members. I'm certainly not going to equate the death of my dog with the same level as the death of my mom, but it was just one more blow. And this one was just so sudden, happened right in front of us. So again, 2024 definitely had its challenges for us this year, but we're moving forward. We're looking at the positive, like in that case, the fact that our sweet baby didn't feel anything. It happened so quickly. There wasn't even a yelp. Sometimes you just have to lean into what can get you through. And we are now actually adopting the most beautiful puppy who's going to help our other dog get through this transition. And in fact, we're picking up our beloved Madeline is her name. I'll insert a picture here if I get a chance to for YouTube. And we're getting her on January 4th. So as I think about thriving in 2025 in memory and in honor of our dog MJ, her name actually is Madeline Jacqueline, so that her initials are MJ. So again, you got to do things even through tragic circumstances that are going to turn that ship around and make you realize how much really is in your control. How you react to things, how you prepare for the future. So much is out of our control. We definitely never thought that would happen to us this year. Even with my mom's passing, we really thought we were going to have at least another 6, 7, 8 months with her. So I don't know if you're ever really ready, but again, it's tough, right? So if you focus on the habit of what you can do instead of the actual outcome, it's going to make things so much easier for you, and it's definitely going to set you up for success. Now, going back to fitness for a minute, I had an example of that just recently. So as I mentioned, as I was talking about earlier about going back to intermittent fasting, I knew and recognized I need a break, but now I'm motivated to get back to it. So although I haven't really officially started that, my whole family last night was watching a movie. They literally stopped the movie in the middle and all got snacks. And usually during the holidays, I will enjoy late night snacks. I don't let myself do that the rest of the time, but holiday season, I really do. So I was going to allow myself to have these snacks after 8. I think it was like 9:30 or 10 at night. And I usually stop eating around 8 o'clock. And I just realized I was really full. And although it would have been fun to experience it, I'm giving myself permission to do that tonight or tomorrow night if I feel like it. But during the holiday season, I'm really okay with that. I think we all need a break. and from fitness as well, because you can be too extreme sometimes, and you can get exercise noise and food noise. And so if you give yourself permission to take a break and, kind of break the food rules, it makes it more of a lifestyle choice and not so much as a restrictive diet, because I know for me personally that just doesn't work. I want to live life to the fullest, and my husband and I are foodies, and so we believe in chef inspired meals. We're not going to ask for substitutions, and we're lucky we don't have to be gluten free. We have a lot of friends who are not so lucky when it comes to food allergies and restrictions. So we're lucky we don't have that yet. Okay, knock on wood here. So while we don't, we're going to enjoy those meals. But, chefs create smaller portions, don't they? Probably on purpose, right? Because there is something beautiful about a well crafted, portioned out meal. And because it's smaller portions, you can enjoy all of it, the appetizer, the entree, and the dessert, right? So even though I had given myself permission, you guys, I'm celebrating my habit. I can't celebrate the outcome yet because there hasn't been enough time. I'm not really back into my new fitness and health regime for 2025 yet. But I was really proud of myself. I'm surrounded by everybody sitting on both sides of me on the couch with chips and candy and popcorn and you name it. And yours truly was completely satisfied to just sit there. I worked on my puzzle while they were grabbing their snacks. And again, I'm going to celebrate the effort. I'm going to celebrate my plan. I'm not going to worry about the outcome. The outcome will come. Sometimes it's not on my timing. The universe sometimes, again, like I mentioned earlier, can get in the way, but that's okay. Have faith. And remember, betting on yourself is never wrong. Tip number 3. Do you remember when we talked about visualization? You guys, there is so much research behind why this works. So on tip number 3, I actually want you to create a vision board for yourself. I am going to create a vision board for 2025. I'm going to take you on the journey with me in a future video. So if you want to wait a couple weeks, that's fine. It doesn't have to be done January 1st, but whatever you choose to do, whether it's an actual vision board, whether it's something you keep in the notes section of your phone or on your Pinterest board, whatever the case may be, create a visual reminder of what your goals are this year and why it's important for you to feel fulfilled inside and out in your career and in your personal life. So do that for yourself. Now, let me share a vision story with you. You might remember me mentioning this in last week's episode where I talked about Spanx founder Sarah Blakely. She famously has said that she credits visualization for helping her get through her sales pitch and her perseverance to make Spanx the empire it is. So think about it. Had she not had that confidence to persevere, even though she was nervous to do so, she would not be worth $1.1 billion today. So again, guys, visualization works. Here's another fun example. Many of you might know the actor Jim Carrey. There was a wonderful episode of him being interviewed on the Oprah Winfrey Show. He brought a check with him, a check he had written out to himself for millions of dollars. He wrote that check and hung it up where he could see it each and every day. And years later, with the signing of one of his larger movie contracts, he made the exact amount that he had put in that check. You guys, it's a wonderful story. I'm sure you can find that on YouTube, but it's a wonderful story, again, about how visualization and visualizing yourself actually, I love the check example because he's visualizing himself actually cashing that check, really does work. So again, whether it's a check you write out to yourself, whether it's a vision board, something you keep in a journal or on your phone, make that a commitment to yourself. Tip number 4, I want you to be better about celebrating those small wins. Take yourself out to lunch. Have a glass of Prosecco if you're allowed to, okay? I work for myself, so I can do that. When I worked for the state, no, I'm not going to have a glass of wine or a glass of champagne in the middle of the day. But you know what? If you've got the vacation time and you want to celebrate that, go to work in the morning and then take yourself out to lunch, whatever you need to do. Or if you want to do that on a Saturday or Sunday, celebrate your wins. as quickly and as immediately as possible. And don't wait for the big win. Like, I'm already celebrating the fact that I sat with people on either side of me eating chips and I pat myself on the back. Now, I didn't celebrate with food today, but I could have, okay? But I just feel so proud of the fact that I was able to do that after all of this wonderful indulgence I've experienced with food and wine and cocktails over the holiday season. So, again, you need to recognize those small wins and celebrate them each and every time. Tip number 5, I want you to find an accountability partner. Did you know that whether it's a friend, or an online coach like me, or some sort of online community, having someone to support you and challenge you along the way can double your chances for success. So go ahead and pick somebody. Have someone in your life. Again, doesn't have to be a personal friend or a mentor. You can reach out to the online communities that you support, but ask them to help you stay on track. Having someone to support you and challenge you to stay on track really can make all the difference. All right, you guys, as we wrap up, don't forget about our exciting upcoming events starting on January 6th. That's our free New Year to a New You challenge. That's also when our interview with Dominique Saxa drops. And on January 9th, I hope to see you for our Stress Less, Achieve More workshop. And remember, that one is all about doing so without sacrificing work-life balance. So again, I'll leave all the links for you in the description box and in the show notes. I'll also leave our link to our social. So be sure to follow us on our socials. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. There you can find lots of other free tips and tricks throughout the week. We try to release those for you on Mondays to help you have a better work week. And of course, don't forget to go to drdonshoptalk.com. That's where you can find the links to all of these things that I'm talking about, as well as tons of free resources. Last but not least, if you like today's episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share. Share this episode with someone that you believe is really needing to thrive in 2025. You want them to have the same wonderful journey that you do, so be sure to share that with them. All right, you guys, I want to wish you the happiest of New Year's. No matter what your plans are, take a minute to reflect back on 2024 and think about all the wonderful possibilities that are right around the corner in 2025. Remember, ladies, to make your dreams come true, you gotta have a plan. You gotta be willing to work hard on your goals, and you gotta be willing to have faith in yourself. Remember, I always say betting on yourself is never wrong. I truly, truly believe that. Look at your worldview. Do you believe people are inherently good or evil? Okay. Because that too could be affecting the kind of faith that you have in making your dreams come true. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with the support you deserve, because you really do deserve to be happy. You deserve all the joy and wonders in the world. They're out there if you look for them, I promise. So even in those dark times, if like me, you've suffered some losses this year, just reach deep. Have faith, realize it's there for you if you need it. Reach out to us if you think we can help in any way. And never, ever forget that if you're not having a fantastic day, I really believe you've got the power to make it one. Till next time, ladies, I will see you in 2025. I know our episode is over, but this is just the beginning. If you're ready to take action but don't know where to start, just head over to drdonshoptalk.com for lots of free resources, ways to work together, and for even more. Subscribe to the Dr. Dawn Shop Talk YouTube channel. Remember, ladies, you don't have to take this journey alone. I've got you covered. Till next time.
You can edit me, so I'm not as bad.
I know. Now that I know how to do that,
I hear
I
you
don't
making
get
all those mistakes, and I'm thinking, yeah, well, not mistakes. But I know you're going to go back. And
Okay, I was going to say there are not that many. Okay.
So did you? I texted you, but I didn't realize you were recording yet. So, is there anything I can get for you while I'm out? Is there anything we need? Anything for?
I was thinking that we had forgotten something.
Oh, we forgot the drinks, but they're going to be gone tomorrow.
Oh, right. That was it. The Coke Zero.
Mhm.
I think I've got 2 left, and I think they've been getting drinks as they're out and about. So I think we're good there. We don't need anything for dinner, sweetheart, because we've got,
Yeah, we've got all
you're
that
doing the
done.
mashed potatoes. I'm doing the meatloaf, and then I've got the salad, and the dessert's already done.
Yeah.
Napkins, toilet paper, all that. We're
Yeah.
good.
I think we
Makeup wipes. Yes, makeup wipes.
Oh,
I
that's
knew there
right,
was
that's
something.
right.
I am
So
completely
makeup
out.
wipe. Okay.
Yeah, the oil of Olay,
So
whatever
can I
you can
go to
find.
just Walgreens for that?
Oh, yeah, you can. Oh, yeah, Walgreens has it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just go to Walgreens instead of Kroger.
Okay.
Can she stay up here?
Yeah, I can edit her out.
Okay.
You stay with mommy, baby.
She doesn't make much noise.
No, and she doesn't have her collar on, so she won't make that much.
That's right. Oh. I didn't forget.
Love is gone. It's over.
I love you, sweetheart.
Love you, sweetie. I might leave that in because it's just so cute. Okay. I know our episode is over, but this is just the beginning. If you're ready to take action but don't know where to start, just head over to drdonshoptalk.com for lots of free resources, ways to work together, and for even more. Subscribe to the Dr. Dawn Shop Talk YouTube channel. Remember, ladies, you don't have to take this journey alone. I've got you covered. Till next time.